Hi, everybody. Captain Lou here with another extravagant few minutes live here on the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube, which we invite you to subscribe to get all of our content live and archived, including all of our extravagant few minutes episodes and our extravaganzas. And we're also live on the Captain Lou Extravaganza Facebook page and on Facebook and Twitter, which is Real Captain Lou. Follow us there. And we are excited to announce that we're part of the Michigan Sports and Entertainment Group. Check out the website, michigansportsandentertainment.com. All great articles, including another update on the Michigan depth chart coming up for football season. That's right. It's right around the corner. Check that out and more, Michigan Sports and Entertainment. Excited to be a part of it here on the Captain Lou Sports Network. And again, we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is the Captain Lou Sports Network. All right, let's get to what's going on in the world of sports here today, June 28th, 2025. The Tigers last night dropped one to the Minnesota Twins at Comerica Park, giving up single runs in the fourth through the seventh inning. Buxton got his 18th home run for the Twins. Seems to be a Tiger killer throughout his career. The Tigers could only muster one run in the eighth inning off of a single by Gleyber Torres. They dropped the opener of a three-game set to the Twins, 4-1. But fortunately for the Tigers, the Indians, they lost as well yesterday. So Detroit's lead is still 9.5 in the American League Central as they go to try to even up the series this afternoon. Casey Mize will go on the mound for the Tigers. He'll go up against Bailey Ober. And then tomorrow night, it's going to be Tariq Skubal going up against Chris Paddock. That's going to be on ESPN, the national game at 7 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow night. So big weekend for the Tigers. Still a 9.5 game lead as we take a look at the standings in Major League Baseball. They've got a 9.5 game lead over the Indians, 10.5 over the Twins, 12.5 over the Royals. So comfortably ahead still. But it would do the Tigers well to take the next two against the Minnesota Twins. The Yankees last night with a win and a loss by the Rays. Their lead now back up to 1.5 over the Rays, 3 over the Blue Jays, and now 8 over the Red Sox, who have lost 6 straight. In the West, the Astros have opened up a 6.5 game lead over the Seattle Mariners, 8.5 over the Angels, and 9 over the Rangers. In the American League last night, the National League rather, in the East, the Phillies, their lead is back to a half game over the Mets. The Phillies won, the Mets lost, and their lead again a half game. In the Central, the Cubs now, their lead down to just 2 games over the Milwaukee Brewers, 3.5 over the Cardinals. And now they have taken over as the top team in Major League Baseball with their win last night. They've won 5 straight. They've got a 6.5 game lead over the San Francisco Giants and 7 over the Padres. Last night, some big scores. The Blue Jays hammered the Red Sox 9-0. The Phillies hammered the Braves 13-0. And how about the Orioles? 22-8 over the Tampa Bay Rays. So some big scores last night in the American League or in Major League Baseball. The Mariners edged the Rangers 7-6. How about the Nationals putting up 15 runs on the California Angels of Anaheim, whatever you want to call them, the Angels of Anaheim. So again, the Tigers with a 9.5 game lead coming into action this afternoon over the Cleveland Guardians. So we'll keep an eye on that, of course, as always, here on the Extravagant Few Minutes episodes. All right, let's turn our attention to the National Hockey League. In the draft yesterday, in the opening round, the 13th pick of the draft for the Detroit Red Wings, they took Carter Bear, a gritty, hard-nosed player out of Everett, out of the Western Hockey League. 40 goals, 42 assists in 56 games. Could be a projected second line player, but as we all know, these picks take a few years to materialize, but he's a hard-nosed player coming off a partially torn Achilles. But he's a goal scorer, and what I really like about him is he is a good defensive forward, which is something that the Red Wings will obviously need. They can always use, so hopefully that he'll pan out for the Red Wings. Now we'll see what the Red Wings do with free agency and the rest of the draft. Everybody knows one of the most scrutinized positions in Detroit is goaltender, besides starting quarterback and the relief pitcher in the major sports in Detroit. So we'll see what the Red Wings do now with the rest of the draft. And, of course, who they're going to target in free agency. A couple of other players with Michigan ties that were drafted in the first round yesterday. Will Horkoff from the University of Michigan, he went 24th in the draft to the Pittsburgh Penguins. They bumped up 7 spots to take him in the draft via trades yesterday. Of course, he's the son of ex-Michigan State Spartan and Edmonton Oilers Sean Horkoff. So kind of an interesting twist there. In the second pick of the draft, Michael Misa from Saginaw out of the OHL got drafted by the San Jose Sharks. We'll see if I pronounce this right. Vaclav Nestrasil. He played for Muskegon in the USHL. He got drafted as well by the Chicago Blackhawks. In the NBA yesterday, or I should say Thursday in the second round, the Detroit Pistons, with their only pick in the NBA draft, they took Chaz Lanier, 6'4" forward out of Tennessee. Kind of a late bloomer, obviously a project, as they all are in the second round. Kind of reminds me of maybe a 5th or a 6th round pick in the NFL draft. So we'll keep an eye on that. The second round picks, who knows with this, but Detroit only one pick in this year's draft. All right. And just kind of also a reminder, hit or miss with these NBA drafts, especially in the second pick. Don't forget about Ben Wallace. He went undrafted back in 1996. All he did was win a ring with the Pistons and became a Hall of Famer. So kind of we'll go with that. Now, as the NBA, they enter their silly season as well. Before we go to break, just wanted to kind of something that I was thinking about yesterday. The Pac-12 added their 8th football member, Texas State. Now, it's not your mom and dad's Pac-12 anymore, or Pac-8, or whatever you want to call it. Who would have thought 10 years ago? Who would have thought 5 years ago the Pac-12 would not have Oregon, Washington, USC, UCLA, Cal, Stanford, Arizona, or Arizona State, just to name a few of the teams? Who would have thought the Pac-12 would have Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, Oregon State, San Diego State, Texas State, Utah State, Washington State, and even Gonzaga, even though they're only going to be a basketball school? They got their 8th member yesterday, Texas State. This is a big one. They got a little bit of Texas foothold in the Pac-12. They're going to need it. It's such a hotbed. I didn't know this, but Texas State's got 40,000 kids that go to that school. Kind of an underrated school. We'll keep an eye on that. But they needed that to become eligible for potentially getting a bid in the college football playoff. All about money. But this is a brand new Pac-12 now, Pac-8, whatever you want to call it. Not your mom and dad's Pac-12, or not even your Pac-12 from 5 or 10 years ago. So all state schools with state in their last name. That, of course, is the new Pac-12. All right, we're going to take a quick look at today in sports history and today's birthdays. But first, this word from SeatGeek, our newest sponsor here on the Extravagant Few Minutes, and, of course, all of our Captain Lou Extravaganza episodes. Use the promo code Captain Lou for $20 off your first purchase. The official secondary market of a lot of sports teams here in the state of Michigan and throughout the country. And, of course, the official secondary market of the Captain Lou Extravaganza and the Extravagant Few Minutes. Very safe to use. SeatGeek. Remember, use the promo code Captain Lou for $20 off your first purchase. That, of course, is SeatGeek. All right, let's take an extravagant look at today in sports history. Back in 1993, Carlton Fisk, he was released by the Chicago White Sox, ending his record as playing the most games for a catcher in Major League Baseball. In 1987, Don Baylor set an MLB record for most pinch hits with 244. In 2007, Craig Biggio got his 3,000th hit, and he became the 27th member of that exclusive club. And in 1919, way back when, Red Sox pitcher Carl Mays pitched both complete games of a doubleheader, something that would make anybody shudder right now in Major League Baseball, as he split that doubleheader against the New York Yankees. Birthdays today, how about John Elway turning 65? Bobby Hurley, he turns 54. And speaking of Don Baylor, the Major League record holder for pinch hits, he turned 76. All right, that's a look at today in sports history and today's birthdays, and also look at an extravagant few minutes. All right, that's going to do it here on the Captain Lou Extravaganza Facebook page and the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube. This reminder that, again, we want to welcome in, and we're pleased to announce that we are part of Michigan Sports and Entertainment, their group. Excited to see what comes of that here this year. A lot of fun things in store for us coming up soon. All right, everybody. I want to thank you for welcoming us into your homes, on your computers, your iPhones, your laptops, however you watched us around the world, right here on the Captain Lou Sports Network and the Captain Lou Extravaganza Facebook page. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Be safe. And, of course, this reminder, keep your heads up, keep your sticks down, keep your feet moving. And as always, keep your minds open. Have a great weekend, everybody. So long.